Which one do you think is better at making websites? Claude Code with Opus 4.6 or Codex with GPT 5.3, Codex 5.3? They both came out like a week ago, and I showed you a website yesterday that I like one-shotted with some images that I had of watches I had designed, but said make a website for this with these ideas. Today, I gave each one of those models a prompt and said, come on, make this a little bit better. You're a marketing expert. But I'll show you which one did better. Yesterday we built things that compute as the hero headline. And then this section just talked about the whole impetus being that AI was taking our software programming jobs. Then if we go into the Apple time piece, the main thing that I think really hits with this is that bottom line. Watch for people that remember when think different meant something. And here's what Claude Code did. Engineered by systems builders, and it talks about the 3 watches. And then in the story section, it doesn't talk at all about the whole impetus for doing this, about feeling like our jobs are being taken away by AI. It just talks totally about how we're great at engineering, great at building systems, care about details. And then in these sections here, movement first design, direct supply chain, again, is more like this is specific to how the watch works, and there's serviceability built in, which is kind of like hackery, right? Like a lot of hackers are behind the right to repair movement. So just a really different story. I think it actually kind of works better. Like nobody gives a shit, except for you, maybe because you know me on TikTok here. Nobody really gives a shit that the impetus is the AI taking over our jobs. Then inside the Apple timepiece page, we see mostly the same. Everything is the same here. It talks about being built from aluminum recovered from Steve Jobs' era MacBook Pro. So really the same. The main thing that's different is for people who remember when think different was a materials science argument. I don't know if it ever was that. So points against Claude for that. This looks nice though. And here's what Codex did. It took my request to like redo this from the ground up seriously. Like this whole website is totally different now. Everything about it. Like now we have a founder allocation. Like this is just making entire cool shit up, I guess. It looks entirely different. The design is different. We have a manifesto now. That's fun. These like little count up things. Ooh, I don't know why it counted up to 2026, but that's what it did. Signal over noise. Oh, you can pick your wearing context. Are you a tool wearer? Like all that stuff, but picking those doesn't actually do anything. Going into the Apple timepiece, hardware was aspirational art. That's kind of good. I kind of like that. Why it hits different sounds kind of AI-y, honestly. It's not great writing. But that like dial source from, there must have been something to that because all 3 attempts with AIs just did not leave that alone. I love the way that movement looks in the back. That's a Salida movement. And then this looks pretty nice too. So all in all, I would say, even though Codex made a bunch of changes and it did look kind of cool, I think it went overboard. And I would also, I didn't mention that Codex also just completely took out the whole story about the impetus for this being AI taking our jobs. I think the lesson for, this is why AI can be so good, is because it can teach us the things that we don't know about ourselves. Like the fact that your customers might not care about this personal thing that happened to you. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. In this case, I think it makes sense that nobody cares when you lose your job to AI. They only care about whether the watch is good. But all in all, I think the like Codex rewrite was too much, too different. Didn't look nice anymore. And the Claude rewrite was pretty good, except for that one little line where it said that Think Different was about materials science. It never was. So that's easy enough to change.